By taking advantage of the bridge and luring King Edmund out, the Viking chiefs plan their impending assault on London. Striona, who will flank the Vikings and trap them on the bridge, listens to Edmund's plans for defending London. In the meantime, Striona, who is impressed by the king's plan, predicts that the Mercians would suffer significant defeats, but Edmund assures him that Mercia will triumph and take all the credit. Canute taunts Edmund into joining him in combat as the Viking army approaches London. Soldiers, against Godwin's and Emma's recommendations. Up until Canute leads the Saxons into an ambush on the opposite side of the bridge, Vikings and Saxons engage in combat. In the meantime, Olaf's longboats are used to bring the bridge down when Harold, Leif, and a few others successfully weaken it. As soon as Emma becomes aware of this, she orders Saxon archers to murder the saboteurs, who are successful in killing the Greenlanders Skard and Njal. Godwin warns Edmund of the coming collapse of the bridge, but Edmund is unable to cross in time and is injured as the Viking army overpowers the Saxons, imprisoned. When Striona sees the Saxons being defeated, she decides to leave Edmund. The Viking army successfully takes control of London and imprisons Emma and the other nobility. Canute prevents Harold from killing Edmund in an attempt to extract retribution. Later, he makes Harold the King of Norway while revealing that Olaf has a son named Magnus in secret. Liv had survived the conflict, and Leif learns this. While offering his fellow Greenlanders a Viking funeral in remembrance of their passing, he experiences a crisis of faith. Canute releases Leif from his captivity and distributes the spoils of war to his soldiers during a feast in celebration. Calling him a hero, he owes his sister money. Following Striona's execution for breaching his pledge to Edmund, Canute declares himself to be the first Danish king of England. Additionally, he develops a fondness for Emma and saves her kidnapped children from Olaf. Frides participates in a pagan ritual in Uppsala that offers a window into her history. In a vision, the seer appears to her and issues a coded directive to stop dwelling on the past and start. After the death of his older brother Uhtred at the hands of the Danes, the main character Osbert, who had previously been baptized as Uhtred, also lost his father and other Saxon noblemen of Northumbria in the conflict with the Danes. Only his stepmother and uncle are still alive. Earl Ragnar takes Uhtred and a Saxon girl named Breda as slaves to his residence in Danish Northumbria. Uhtred is raised as Uhtred Ragnarsson by Ragnar, who eventually accepts him as his own son. Time goes by, and Thyra, Ragnar's daughter, is due to get married, but the night before the ceremony, other Danes launch an attack and torch the hall where the family is staying. Thyra is kidnapped as a slave, and Ragnar is burned alive. Since they spent the night in the woods tending to a charcoal furnace, only Uhtred and Breda manage to flee. Kjartan, a furious Viking who had been exiled from Ragnar's kingdom, is leading the attackers, lands for a crime that Kjartan's son Sven had done years previously. Uhtred makes a promise to exact revenge. In the midst of a conflict, Jaskier is saved by a time-stopping creature after being nearly murdered by an enemy soldier. It presents itself as Shansha, a story collector, and claims they picked Jaskier to rekindle the legend of the Seven narrative, a conflict that sparked the conjunction of the spheres and gave rise to the first Witcher. The story, narrated by Shansha, which starts with a lark, is recorded by Jaskier. She used to go by the name Ayla and was a warrior of the Raven clan, in charge of guarding the king of. In jail, she meets Fjoll, previously a warrior of the Dog clan, responsible for protecting the king of Zentria. Fjoll was exiled by his father for bedding Princess Merwin, the sister of King Alvatar and an eccentric. She believes that the past will. The lark, meantime, escapes from prison using Fjoll's jewelry.